A silent war is raging inside your skull at this very moment. Even as you listen, a specific region of your mind is computing the odds of staying focused versus clicking away to something simpler. This computation runs thousands of times daily, and it is quietly eroding your capacity to achieve anything significant. But what if the exact neural machinery causing you to evade difficult tasks could be reversed to make you hunger for them? Imagine if hard discipline felt as addictive as doom scrolling. This isn't motivational fluff, this is biology. By grasping the mechanics of your own psychology, you will see why grit has failed you and exactly what strategy works instead. Your mind functions on a basic financial rule. It perpetually asks one query: where is the highest return on my energy? Every potential move is immediately judged. High exertion with vague rewards triggers the brakes. Low exertion with assured enjoyment gets the green light. This isn't a defect in your character. It is ancient survival code from an era when hoarding calories meant avoiding death. The issue is that your primitive hardware now resides in a modern environment built to harvest it. Every notification, every sugary treat, and every viral clip is crafted by behavioral experts to spark the specific pathways that induce pleasure with zero cost. Your mind isn't broken, it is being intercepted. Let's analyze what physically occurs inside your head when you cannot start that business or drive yourself to the gym. Deep inside, there is a small cluster of nerves known as the nucleus accumbens. View this as your internal drive engine. It relies on a messenger molecule called dopamine. However, dopamine behaves differently than most assume. It is not the molecule of joy. It is the molecule of craving. Levels spike when you expect a prize, not when you get it. That is why swiping feels so magnetic. The next post might be amazing, so your chemistry floods you with anticipation to keep you hunting. But here is where the trap closes. When you absorb too many cheap hits, your system adapts. This is known as down-regulation. Your receptors actually reduce in density as if your nervous system is lowering the volume on enjoyment. Consequently, you require heavier stimulation just to feel normal interest. A novel that once gripped you now seems dull. A session of exercise that once fueled you feels impossible. You are not lacking willpower, you are suffering from tolerance, identical to substance dependency. This explains why those who binge on digital media often feel the most lethargic. Their minds are conditioned to demand ceaseless, effortless payouts. Any task demanding sustained focus feels like torture by contrast. The cost-to-benefit balance is shattered. Your biology has been retuned to demand instant relief. Meaningful success cannot rival that speed. Yet, the miracle of neuroplasticity means that what is damaged can be repaired. Your gray matter is endlessly remapping itself based on your actions. Every decision you execute either reinforces the highway to discipline or cements the road to distraction. The doubt isn't if your mind will shift, it is which way you are steering it. So, what is a true neural reset, and why is it effective? Contrary to the popular title, you are not literally purging dopamine, you are eliminating the synthetic, hyperactive triggers of it. Visualize your reward system as a soundboard fader pushed to the maximum limit until standard audio sounds like silence. A reset is about lowering that fader so your psyche can remember what baseline feels like. When you cut off the torrent of cheap amusement, a shift occurs. Your receptors begin to upregulate. They regain sensitivity. Suddenly, pursuits that appear dry begin to feel compelling. The pride of finishing a chore, the rush after lifting weights, the peace of deep study. These organic prizes begin to register again.
You are not becoming a different person. You are coming home to yourself. You are recalling the sensation of being pushed by internal drive rather than pulled by external noise. Most people crumble here because their strategy is flawed. They attempt to force it, relying strictly on grit. But grit is a depleting battery, and it loses against a starved brain begging for input. Instead, you must comprehend the withdrawal phase. For the initial days, you will feel agitated, short-tempered, perhaps fearful. This is not fragility. This is recovery. Your biology adapted to a specific tier of input, and now you are starving it. The unease you experience is proof the protocol is working. Your neural pathways are being coerced to realign. The secret is accepting that this season is fleeting. Most quit right before the dawn because they misread the agitation as a signal they are failing. But that boredom is your mind repairing itself. Endure it. Here is the tactical blueprint. Begin by pinpointing your supreme dopamine leaks, not necessarily your favorite hobbies, but the things providing maximum thrill for minimum output. For the majority, this is the smartphone, specifically infinite scrolling, viral clips, or mobile gaming. It might also be processed sugar, retail therapy, or adult content. Whatever grants you vivid pleasure with zero friction, that is your mark. Now, the vital nuance. You do not need to banish these forever. You simply need to banish them temporarily while your hardware reboots. Select a duration. 3 days is the floor. 7 is superior. 14 is life-altering. Within this window, you manufacture an artificial drought of cheap thrills which compels your mind to seek engagement in difficult tasks. However, you cannot simply subtract, you must substitute. Nature hates a void, and so does your psyche. When you strip away the quick hits, you must intentionally fill the gap with pursuits that offer slower, deeper fulfillment. Read a paper book instead of a screen. Prepare ingredients instead of ordering out. Stroll outside without earbuds instead of streaming a podcast. Train in silence. Write with a pen. Speak face to face. These actions feel stale initially because your receiver is still tuned for high-voltage static. But here is the alchemy. As you continue, your biology starts secreting dopamine in anticipation of these tasks too. After days of reading, your neurons learn that opening a cover leads to the joy of insight. After a week of training, your body begins to hunger for the endorphin release and the pride of strain. You are physically retraining your motivation loop. There is a massive difference here between amusement and fulfillment. Amusement is instant and evaporates. It stems from outside triggers and needs no work. Fulfillment is delayed and endures. It stems from inside victory and demands sweat. The modern era drowns us in amusement but starves us of fulfillment. That is why you can spend 12 hours being entertained, yet retired to bed feeling hollow. Your nerves got the spark, but no sustenance. A neural reset moves your target from chasing buzzes to constructing worth. And here is the secret no one shares. Fulfillment actually generates more dopamine in the long run than amusement does. When you conquer something hard, when you wade through the mud and emerge on the far bank, your brain releases a symphony of chemistry: dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. This is the state athletes call the zone. It is what artists feel after hours of flow. It is the profound peace of discipline, and it is vastly more potent than any red notification badge. Science confirms this. Data reveals that postponing reward lights up the prefrontal cortex, the sector responsible for strategy, logic, and inhibition. The more you rehearse waiting, the thicker those connections grow. Meanwhile, instant relief lights up the primitive limbic system, which runs on urges.
Every time you pick grit over ease, you are literally fortifying the evolved brain and shrinking the lizard brain. You are updating your software. Eventually, this alters your default mode. Discipline stops feeling like a war against your nature and starts feeling like your nature. This is what gurus mean when they say habits become automatic. It's not that the tasks get lighter, it's that your wiring changes to prefer it. Let me describe the reality after a genuine reset. You will observe your focus widening. Subjects that used to repel you in seconds will hold your gaze for an hour. You will sense a mental sharpness that was absent. Concepts will flow. You will decide swiftly because you aren't constantly hunting for approval through a screen. You will possess raw energy because you aren't riding a roller coaster of chemical highs and crashes. Most shockingly, you will feel authentic enthusiasm